Hi, Courtney. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine, fine. Thank you.
Good. What is your name?
My name is Kerem.
Karen.
Yes.
Very nice to meet you. And it looks
Okay.
like this is our first time speaking on Cambly.
Yes, we just had a message to each other, but we can just find a chance to connect each other
Yes.
because of your schedule is so full.
Yes. It gets a little bit crazy when I open up my time slots. But if after this evening, if you enjoy speaking with me, you can send me a message with what time you prefer and what day, and I can block it for you so no one else can take that spot.
Okay, I think right now you are in Italy. Am I right?
Yes, I am.
What do you do for a living in Italy? English teaching?
I teach English. Yes.
In a private school?
I have in the past worked for some private schools. I also do private lessons in my home. People come to me. And then I just recently started working on Cambly.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Which city do you live in Italy?
It's a town called Viareggio. It is about 20 kilometers north of Pisa.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's almost in the middle of Italy.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. It's on the seaside, but about halfway from north to south.
Do you enjoy living in Italy?
I do. It's not always easy. There's a lot of problems, bureaucratic problems. Things are difficult to get done sometimes, so I have to have a lot of patience. But yes, I do like living here.
Okay. Where are you from originally? United States, I think.
Yes, Virginia, Charlottesville, Virginia.
Virginia. Charlottesville. Yes. Okay.
Yes, Charlotte is in North Carolina, and Charlottesville is in Virginia.
Virginia.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have so much information about Charlotte or Charlottesville. No. I just heard Charlotte Hornets. That's all.
Exactly. That's the one in North Carolina. Yes.
Okay.
So tell
I'm from Turkey.
What do you do?
I'm an industrial engineer working for an international company which try to publish air condition systems in Turkey. I'm a managing director of this company and try to develop my speaking in English for today and of course for future opportunities.
Okay.
Just try to speak from different countries with different accents on Cambly, especially to develop my my hearing abilities and my listening and speaking skills.
Yes.
I'm 41 years old, living in Istanbul, the biggest metropolitan city of Turkey. And I'm married. I have a son, one child, and try to survive nowadays in these economical conditions.
I understand that. I understand that. I think it's a battle for a lot of us, but I think doing something like improving your English or working towards a goal can help with that. At least maybe right now, in the future.
Yes, yes. So if you have an international language, if it is so popular in so many countries, then you can find different solutions for your future life.
Yes, yes. Where did you originally study English?
In my home country, Turkey.
Okay.
I went to a private middle school while I was at the age 12. Mm-hmm. And I studied a prep class, 40 hours per week, just in English, and then continue my middle school with supportive English courses. Mm-hmm. Then during my high school times, I never stopped using English and tried to go some speaking lessons in American culture of society in the city where I live. Mm-hmm. And then during university, also for researching, I used English. And in business life, not so much, but working with different people from different countries as customers or as managers, mm-hmm. I use my English.
Okay.
So I'm still trying to develop, still try to learn and train myself.
Okay. Your English is actually excellent. It's very advanced, nearly fluent. Okay. So
thank you.
I think
you're so kind.
The important thing for you, though, is to have continuous practice. So coming on Cambly, I think you are smart to try different tutors. Mm-hmm. When people are just beginning, I recommend that they find one tutor they like and only work with that person, because at first they need to focus just on learning the grammar, the vocabulary, and to hear different voices can be difficult. However,
actually, I used to do this in my first month in Cambly, because if you would like to practice on grammar, as you said, or vocabulary, it would be much more better to work with the same tutor.
Exactly.
Because you don't need to lose time to describe yourself again and again.
Exactly.
And also for the viewpoint from tutor, it is much more easier to watch your development. It's okay. But after some time, if your aim is to develop your practice English speaking, you should change always tutors from different countries, different accents. Even in the United States, there are 50 states and 50 different speech ways. I'm not just talking about accents, also the habits of speaking are totally different. The vocabulary they use, pronunciation, and the behavior. So it will be better to speak more people to develop your ear, because you can develop your speaking with just speaking, but at the same time you should develop your listening.
Yes. For example, my boyfriend, he spoke some English when we first got together, but then he was improving, always speaking with me, but he was only learning English from me, from my voice, my way of speaking, my habits. And the first time we went to the US together to visit my family, he was lost. And I said, Raffaele, I said, you speak English. What's happened? He said, I can't understand. I can't, because he was only used to my voice. So it is good to, I think it challenges your brain to hear different accents, different styles. And maybe you find people you like talking to and you can talk with them a couple times a month. But I think at your level, what's important is hearing different voices and different styles.
Cambly gives an opportunity to students that they can ask any questions on video style, and at the same time they can use the chat box at the right side of the screen. So if someone cannot understand the meaning of the word or the pronunciation, they can write each other to understand the exact meaning.
Right.
This is very helpful.
I think it's a good platform. But one tip I would give you, again, I think your English is nearly fluent. Of course, you're going to have some accent that remains, and maybe some pronunciation issues. One way to work on this, okay, is first of all, we have language learning in our brains. We need to understand the grammar and the vocabulary and memorize words, etc. Another part that we don't think about a lot is physical, okay? Turkish and English are very different languages. You have to use your muscles in a different way, the shape your mouth makes, where your tongue goes. One way to help with this is to find something, a website or a magazine, and take just a couple of minutes every day, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and without thinking, okay, so without trying to understand, just read the words one after the other on the page, okay? You don't need to try and understand what you're reading. Just practice saying the words out loud, speaking the words. And this is like going to the gym for your face.
Oh.
Later,
very interesting point.
Later, you can go back and read it again to understand it. But the first time, don't try to think, because that will slow you down, okay? And it's not an exercise of comprehension. It's an exercise for your pronunciation and practicing moving your mouth the right way. So that could be
very interesting suggestion. This is the first time that I hear this kind of suggestion from a teacher.
Okay.
Because everybody focused on to understand, not to use the language equipments on your face as a muscles.
Yes. Well, I guess, you know, when I first started teaching English here in Italy, I wanted to be a good teacher. And so I studied, you know, in books about how we acquire language and important ways to improve. And that's something that I read. Another interesting fact is that listening to English in the background is also very helpful. So you can put the TV on in your living room and then go into the kitchen and cook dinner and not pay any attention. But that sound is going in subconsciously into your brain and is still helping you, even if you don't do anything. So the more exposure.
I think I did this method with music. I generally listen English-speaking songs, and from my childhood. So I think it helped me a lot. But you know, songs are not written in a perfect way, so it's not easy to train your brain with songs. But it was interesting. So I should open a BBC channel on TV, I think, and always listening in the house. Okay, it's an interesting point.
It doesn't even have to be that you take the time to sit down and watch the news. Just having it on is still helpful.
Oh, probably. I'm trying to watch TV shows in English and try to use English subtitles to listen and to see. This method is very helpful. It also helps a lot to me and to my wife. We try to understand TV shows and some movies with only English subtitles, or sometimes without any subtitle.
Okay.
So if we find a good TV show where actor speaks very clear English and very fluent, then if we believe ourselves that we are able to understand, we turn off the subtitle and just try to understand.
Yes. I know that a version came out in Turkey, but have you seen the American version of This Is Us?
No. No.
Oh, it's really a special show.
Really? Okay. I'll try to watch.
And
what is it? What is it about?
Okay. Oh my gosh.
This is us, I think.
Yes, I have to warn you. Yes, This Is Us. I have to warn you that you and your wife, both of you, will cry just about every episode. It's so beautiful.
Come on, Courtney. In our real life, we are so.
No, you will. You will. Every single man I have spoken to has said they cry when they watch it. And there are men, they say, yep, I cry too. My wife cries, I cry. It is a young couple who are pregnant with triplets, 3 babies, okay? And she goes into labor, into the hospital, the same day as her husband's birthday. The father has the same birthday as the babies. And a boy is born, and then a girl is born, and then the third boy does not make it. The third triplet dies at birth.
Okay.
The very same day, a man dropped off a baby at a fire station and abandoned the baby. And the fireman brought the baby into the hospital. And this is a black baby. And the couple was white. But they just had this idea. They said, we should adopt this baby. And so the story of this kind of mixed family, but it is so beautiful. It is so, and it's funny and just all kinds of things.
What was the name of the baby? Is it Barack Obama?
No, that would have been a good name.
Because it's a very, very lucky position for an Afro-American baby.
Yes, yes. No, they named him Randall.
Okay.
It's Kevin, Kate, and Randall are the 3 children.
Is it a movie or is it a TV show?
It's a TV show.
TV show.
I prefer TV shows because I'm usually really tired at night. So to watch a movie for 2 hours is too long for me. But a TV show, maybe 40 minutes. Okay. Okay.
Okay. I will try to watch.
Yes.
I promise.
I think you will enjoy it. I'm trying to think of some other series that I recommend my students here. Another one is an older show, much older. I don't know if maybe on Netflix. But I recommend it to my students because
6 Feet Under.
Yeah, everyone has very neutral accents and are easy to understand.
I know this show. I have never watched it, but I know it.
Yeah.
I think it's about a family. They are trying, their occupation is about dead people, funerals. And,
yes, they have a funeral home.
And also they have some dramas and some comic stories between each other.
Yes.
This kind of things, as I remembered, but I have never watched it.
It's a strange show, but it's really well written, and I think the storylines are meaningful. And I don't know, not everybody likes it because they don't like the idea of death, but they handle it in a very appropriate way. I think
I suggested people for developing English, the Kominsky method.
The Kominsky method.
Yes, it's Aaron Arkin and Michael Douglas are starring, and they use very clear English in their speech, and the show is also very attractive, funny. It's about two old men try to live like a middle-aged man, and it's very, very, very quiet, very funny, and I think they use a very fluent English. So for me and for my wife, we always try to watch this movie, this TV show with any subtitle, just like a native speaker, and we almost understand 90-95% of the show.
Good.
So I suggested everyone who would like to develop his or her English to watch this TV show.
Okay, I'll have to keep that in mind because people often ask me for recommendations, and I try to think of things that are interesting, but that the English is very clear and normal. For example, I wouldn't recommend The Sopranos for people just starting to learn English. There's too much.
I know. Even native English speakers cannot understand.
So I try to think of certain shows that are fun to watch, but the English, not that it's easy, just that the actors are very clear with their speech. So we have a couple minutes left. We got started a little bit late. I don't know if that was a connection problem, but I do have to end exactly at 7 o'clock my time because I have to go get my children from their sport.
Okay. So we have just 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah. But tell me, do you have any other questions for me? Is there anything in particular that if we connect next time?
Actually, no, we have a good conversation and a good speech. Thank you for your time and friendly speaking. And it is very important for me that your evaluation about my English. And if you, as a teacher, if you are okay, so I will be very glad.
Yeah, no, I would be glad to meet with you again too. How often do you come on Cambly? What kind of package did you
Actually, my package is 3 days per week, and each session is 30 minutes. Okay. And I think it is so enough.
I think for your level that's sufficient.
Yes. Sometimes it's not easy to arrange your time schedule and to find a proper tutor. So 3 days per week is, I think, the optimum package for me. When I started first time for my first month, my package was 5 days per week. Okay. And after the second week, it was very difficult to arrange my schedule and arrange also a tutor. To find a suitable tutor, I think 3 days per week is the best program.
Yes, I think for your level, 3 days is sufficient, and it also should be something that's not a stress for you. Like, oh gosh, another lesson. It should be a nice time for you to have a conversation or learn something new. Not always like, oh, I need to go on Cambly tonight.
And also, unfortunately, it's not Cambly's fault, but because of the currency differences, in my country, it is not so cheap. Normally, the prices are not so expensive, but when you calculate and transact to my currency, it would be very expensive.
Okay.
So using more than this kind of package can be expensive. But when you compare with the private courses, still Cambly is the best way and the cheapest way of developing your English. Because the English courses and private schools are much more expensive,
right,
than using online teaching.
Yeah. Okay.
Our time is over, I think.
I'm so sorry that I have to leave early, but I just absolutely have to get my children.
Okay, no worries.
But I hope to see you again. Great job. Your English is amazing.
Thank you, Courtney. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Your English is amazing too.
Is it? I hope so.
Yeah, I think so. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.